I've got Laura here with me. Hello.
Hi.
Just finished the Exhausted to Energized method, the 12-week program. So welcome. Thank you for agreeing to this interview. It's always lovely to have people here. So tell us a little bit about you.
So I'm a PE teacher. I teach part-time, 3 days a week. I've always been quite active, although less active since having my children, who were 9 and 6. And then last October, I got COVID and ended up with long COVID, where I was off work until about May of this year. I joined the Holistic Health Circle. I think it was sometime in the new year, and started picking up a few ideas to try and look at improving my health. And then it was in the summer when I started the 12-week program, as I was feeling a bit more getting back to work and feeling like I could actually start and make some changes. And it's really helped. It's been, just a massive transformation over the summer for me. And I think even before COVID as well, really busy mum, lots going on, lots of stresses, the usual anxieties with having kids and things that get to you. And I just feel a lot more now prepared for dealing with that. Yeah.
So thank you for that introduction. Tell us a little bit about, because some people might watch this and they might have had COVID and they might be finding it difficult to get over it as well. Tell us a little bit about the symptoms and kind of why it went on for so long and how that time was for you.
Well, initially it was a fairly mild illness. I didn't have to go into hospital. I wasn't really kind of stuck in bed that much. I just had my sense of smell went. I had a bit of a cough, but nothing horrendous. But I was just kind of fatigued and just quite low energy and wiped out. And then after a few weeks, I kind of thought I was getting better. Thought about maybe trying to get back to work. But then each time I tried to go out and get for longer walks, my chest was really sore. I was getting really tightness, a lot of tightness, and I basically had to walk really slowly compared with how I'd normally would. And yeah, I was just floored. Every time I came back in, I'd be wiped out. And then I started with pins and needles around Christmas time. Lots of pins and needles. All my blood tests came back fine. My chest X-ray came back fine. And then also in the new year, I started with a higher heart rate. I was getting some palpitations, and also if I kind of just walked upstairs, my heart rate would be going quite high for just going upstairs. But yeah, there's quite a lot of varying symptoms that would come and just kind of add in, during that few months. It was all, you don't know what's coming next sort of thing.
So it progressively got worse for you, and that must have been a bit of a surprise, like being a PE teacher and being fit, I'm assuming, that must have really taken you by surprise.
It did, yeah, and it kind of makes you realise when you're taking for granted just what you would normally do, and you're just kind of thinking, well, why aren't I recovering? I was fit, thought I was fit and well beforehand, and it's just a big shock to the system, and your mental health as well, the frustration of it, the not knowing how long it's going to be. You've got the kids that you're trying to sort of still homeschool as well at the time in January.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots going on.
And then, so did you just take the kind of normal traditional healing route then? Did you do anything holistically for yourself during that time? It sounds like you was just too ill to do anything. Yeah,
there wasn't much I could really do. I was put on medication by the doctors for a while. I was given medication for the pins and needles, which was amitriptyline, and then I was put on the beta blocker for a while for my heart rate as well, which both of those things did settle, so I was keen to get off them. So I did wean off them gradually. But then I think the one thing that I picked up on it at first in the Holistic Health Circle was, or it might have even been the Fight Fatigue Facebook group, was Sarah's breath work. So I started doing I was doing a lot of the alternate nostril breathing then, actually, for quite a while, thinking back. But yeah, that was the main thing I would just look at doing, just the breath work.
That's so good to hear. And Sarah and I share this a lot. We always say like it's the number one healing tool, because no matter how ill you are, you can still breathe, right? So that's really good to hear that you did take that as a first step and it helped you.
Yeah.
So what kind of drew you to the Holistic Health Circle in the first place?
I think just looking at alternative ways, really, and I think just some of the things I was seeing and thinking, I suffer with that, and in the Fight Fatigue group as well initially that I'd gone on to, a lot of the anxiety things kind of resonated with me. And just with my lifestyle and just how I was feeling. So yeah, I just think looking and thinking, right, what can I do to help myself, really? And I've had periods kind of ringing the doctors a lot, and I think I don't really want to be. I want to try and tackle it myself and look at what I can do. Yeah.
And so when you first came into the holistic health circle, I remember you was really struggling with your health then. What kind of things did you start with? So you said the breath work. Did you do anything else when you were first a member?
I was already drinking quite a lot of water. I think just through from having COVID initially, it was kind of just really keep yourself hydrated. So I was drinking lots of water. I'd started trying to improve my diet a little bit. I was never great with fruit and veg as a kid, so I was trying to improve that a little bit as well. And yeah, there wasn't. I think I was just so struggling with energy that I wasn't doing the cooking or anything like that. So I was kind of, as and when I could get the right foods down me, then that's what I would do.
Brilliant. Okay. And then you decided to work a little bit more closely with me. So this is called the Exhausted to Energized method. It's a 12-week course for women, and you get a lot more support. So we jump on weekly group calls together, and we help you with your progression, basically, with step-by-step instructions to help restore energy. So was that the main thing that drew you to it? Was it energy that you was wanting to increase?
It was mainly, yeah. The main thing I think was the energy and getting my energy levels back. But I think all the other things as well that have come in as a result of maybe things that I didn't realise that I needed to do as well, perhaps. And
that's interesting. Yeah. So while you mentioned that, we'll remember what kind of things like did you not really realise but have improved?
I think just taking ownership of it and being organised with it. I think I watched one of the videos of a client that you'd previously been through it with, and I remember her saying, well, the key thing is getting yourself organised. Yeah, I think that kind of made me think, yeah, this is what I need to be doing, not just kind of not just the knowledge of what you need to do, it's the actual getting it prepared to put into practice and to do it. That's
such a good point. Again, so for you being a PE teacher, you probably know quite a lot about health already. But I can imagine with a young family and working and everything else that, well, you sort of said it before that you put yourself on the back burner. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. I think I'd always just, everything has been the kids first, and I think you do naturally, or without realising it, put yourself last. And it's, I think it caught up with me a little bit, and it's a hard thing to then sort of, I think, say to the kids, no, this is my hour of yoga tonight. You're going to get you to bed, and then you're not to come and disturb me. And it's not having the guilt to, to say, well, no, this is my time. And I think they've realised, I think, from seeing me unwell as well, that I need to look after my health. Maybe I think it kind of gave them a bit of an eye opener that, I wasn't always 100%. So it's kind of like now I'm trying to get that message across that I'm trying to make sure that I am as much as possible. So that mum's not invincible, and I guess it's a good reminder and wake up call for you, even though it's really hard to go through. Yeah, you're probably appreciating your health all the more now, right? Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Yeah, I'll not be taking it for granted now. Just making the most of what I can do now. Really, I'm trying to just build back up more.
Great. So tell us a little bit about the course then. How was it for you? How did you progress through it?
I think the way it's done, in terms of the pace, having a couple of weeks of introducing something new, and then having the rest weeks to kind of look back at what you might have missed, or just making sure you're implementing things, or to try the things like the meditations or the extra breathwork exercises and things like that. I think, just the pace of it didn't feel like you kind of, right, you've got to do this, and this. It was just having that focus. Was really useful, and especially as I was kind of initially still building back up a little bit, it didn't feel overwhelming or anything like that. It was just right sort of pace for me, and just bringing in each thing, I just felt like the knowledge that was developing more, and things. I've had maybe too much of that, or I need to definitely need to adjust that, and that's making sense with how I was feeling with what I'd been doing.
Tell us a little bit about busy mum life, because I know that I think you had a couple of holidays while you were away doing the course, but you still managed to balance some things. Tell us kind of like the mindset now that you had then that you're carrying forward for how do you travel and still be healthy? I'd love to get some tips for some mums or busy women.
Yeah, I think again just the being prepared, and all the things, especially things like the breakfast. I'd made sure that I knew what I was having with me and taking. And sometimes I know you said with the lunchtime situation, like eating out, and I will now go to a totally different section of a menu now. If I'm eating out, I'll think, oh yeah, I'll try that, and you know, for instance, we treated the kids in the summer holidays to a pizza express lunch, so they'd all got the pizzas, and I'd selected something totally different that was, I think it was a gluten-free option, and it has got all spinach in it, and all, you know, totally different taste from what I would have had before. So I think just thinking, right, we're away, but I can still maintain what I'm trying to do with getting the right sort of nutrition in my diet. And again, just making that time, even though we're away, just kind of making that little bit of time for myself. And it can be obviously quite stressful when you all the packing and getting ready. And I remember you saying to me, right, let's delegate some things. And the kids did love packing. They loved helping pack the car. All the usual, like, all right, we're going to get off. Well, not going to get off on time because we weren't catching a plane. But, you know, you're still trying to get ready and let's get out and make sure we've got everything we need. And so that was good with that.
That's amazing. I love that. So, yeah, we talk about that a lot, that mums often do everything, right? Everything.
Yeah, control freak. I've got to have control of everything, but yeah, I didn't.
But we do talk about, right, maybe one of the reasons you're exhausted is because you're doing everything for everyone. And if the kids are getting a little bit older, what can they help with? And even when they're really young, I often like to help with some things, even if it takes a bit longer. We kind of have to have that patience with them, so it makes it, you know, more fair for us all as they're getting older.
Yeah.
So what has been like some of your benefits over the 12 weeks?
I think just being able to feel kind of calm. So for the breath work, anytime I felt kind of anxious or stressed, just taking that time and having the tools to be able to settle myself, or if I can feel like my heart rate, you know, getting up or that sort of thing. And just my energy levels have just been, you know, so much better. I'm not feeling like I need to snack maybe and things like that, because I know I'm getting a breakfast that is going to, you know, it's got the right things in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, not really having sort of cravings, or not thinking I must have some sugar, you know, something sugary, because I was quite sweet tooth when I was younger. Yeah, I used to always have something sweet with every meal or in the afternoon and things like that. So yeah.
So good. Okay, so we had a little chat before when I was sort of asking how your chest is, because obviously that was such a big thing at the beginning of the course for you, that it was, you know, still difficult to breathe and still in pain and walking very slowly. How is that now? Now we're in October time.
Yeah, it's doing really well. I've not felt any of the discomfort that I'd had earlier in the year. Even now I'm back to kind of my speedy walking pace as it always was, and I'm not getting the pain. I'm not getting any kind of breathlessness that badly or anything like that, and it's just feels so much better.
Fantastic. Tell us a little bit about, you said normally when I go back in September I normally pick up a cold, so how has it been this September and October compared to previous years for you health wise?
Yeah, I think most years, so even in about 17 years of teaching, I probably always had a sore throat or cold within a couple of weeks of going back in September. And this year I've not really had anything that's troubled me at all. From through the summer probably doing what I'm doing, and then having the kind of tools again to think, right, I'm going to make sure I've had this on a morning, or, you know, every day, and it's probably just seeing it off, or just giving me that, you know, just put me in better health maybe to deal with any of it.
Yeah, so what's the benefit of that then? Because obviously it's annoying having a sore throat, but is it like, are you able to show up to work better? Have you got more energy after work to be with your children, or have you got more energy to do things for yourself, like carry on with your self-care? What's the advantage of like not getting ill in September and October again?
I think even just getting through the working day, when you're teaching and you're talking a lot, and, you know, not having that feeling whilst you're there of thinking, oh, you know, can I get through the day? I've never really had to have time off with, you know, September sore throat or cold, as I've called it before. You've just kind of muddled through with it. But yeah, I've definitely come home from work now and I'm feeling, you know, that I've still got something left in me for the rest of the evening. Which has been the main thing for me, really. But yeah, just to have that energy.
That's so good. I loved it when we first started chatting just before we pressed record, and you said you had some little niggles in your body recently, and you kind of had this toolkit of things that you was relying on. So what did you not need to do?
What do you mean? What did I not need?
What did you not need to do?
Yeah, normally I would have reached for paracetamol, so I was getting some quite bad aches in my legs, and I would have just gone for a paracetamol just to kind of ease it off for the time being. But yeah, instead I was using the things that we've done, so the Epsom salts baths, oil, massaging oil into it, and the wheat bag, and all the things like that, some yoga, gentle yoga stretches, and it's easing. So
Yeah, that made me so happy to hear that. So I think a big part of the course for me is like empowering you, that you know what to do, if because you know I may not always be there. Well, we are for the moment because you're carrying on the holistic health circle, but you want that empowerment that once you leave, you know what to do. It's not like you're always looking outside yourself for the answer. And it really felt like today when we were chatting, like you did know, you didn't have to phone Hannah to ask the answer. You knew the answer for yourself.
Yeah.
And you were saying that your mum's seen a change in you as well. What was she saying?
Yeah, she's just really pleased that she's seen me. She's obviously seen me through a really difficult time through the winter and the spring. And she's just said she's seen how much I've put in to try and, make a change to my health. And she's just really pleased that I've been so much, over the summer, it just picked up more and more. And back to me, she just wanted me back to my usual self, obviously. And yeah, it's just been, she said it's been nice to see the improvement as well.
Yeah, it's been such a pleasure to watch your journey, and I'd love to empower more women to take control of their health. But often we have these mental blocks in our heads, right? So beliefs, and it might be maybe for someone like you, I'm too busy to make change, or perhaps I'm even too ill or too tired to get started, a bit how you was when you had COVID in the beginning.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who has, some objections, I guess, or some beliefs that they can't do it?
Yeah, I would say that if you really want to improve your health and and get to a certain stage, that you need to put yourself first, and it's that kind of effort to just give you a kick start and just make sure, rather than saying no, I can't do it because it's effort. I think it was definitely right to not do it when I was as unwell as I was, but then as I was picking up, I think it's just got to give yourself that kind of motivation to get going, because it's been so beneficial for me. So yeah, I would just say to people, even thinking about cost as well. I remember watching a video when you interviewed somebody and they were saying about, I'm conscious of how much I'm spending, but I remember she said there's no point in me having money sat there if I'm not well enough to enjoy it and do things with it. So you're going to think, well, that's when you think what you get over the course of 12 weeks and how much it can do for you and change you, then it's just so worth it. Yeah, so
it can save you so much money in paracetamol.
Yeah. So it's definitely worth it.
So it just gave me another question there, because motivation isn't long lasting. Motivation, we kind of get little bursts of it. How did you keep motivated throughout the 12 weeks, or was it not motivation that you relied on? Like, how did you keep going for those 12 weeks? Because you do make a lot of changes, although they're small, when you implement them one by one, there's still a lot of change. So how did you do that?
I think for me, just if I've started something, I want to see it through, and I want to do it and complete it. The thought of starting something and then giving up for no good reason, really, just because I'm not pushing myself or can't be good that week, or I think just the idea of seeing it through, and also all the different stages each week. Obviously, you've done the first few, and then you'd be thinking, right, I want to know what's coming next. I want to tackle this next thing and introduce this next idea, and actually get through every element of it, because the first few is that you're starting to see some improvement, and just think, well, I want to keep going in that direction.
And do you think that it was a big help for you to have calls to come to each week, like little check-ins, rather than doing it by yourself? Yeah,
definitely. I think it was, each week I think I've got things that I just wanted to check, or, things that might have cropped up possibly. And I think even as well, listening to the other ladies on the call as well, sometimes there were things that I think, that's useful to me as well, if they might have asked a question. And that helps keep you motivated as well, the fact that you've got that weekly chat coming, and you're going to be able to discuss things, and you're not just left to it.
Yeah, brilliant. So anything that I haven't asked you, any like parting last thoughts, any words of wisdom to any other like that they're struggling with their health?
Yeah, I would just say, especially if you're struggling with health, I would just say, you're going to get, you could get better naturally at your own pace, but by putting those changes in place, I think it just really helped me, and I'm hoping it's going to help me stay in good health and at the right sort of place that I want to be really now, and that it is just so worth looking at making those changes to your health. And I think just so much happier as well, just in myself, just mental health as well. It's made a big change.
That's so good to hear, and I'm hoping that what we normally see is it has a huge ripple effect. So you sort of asked me about your children earlier when we were chatting, and I'm sure perhaps like your partner or other teachers, they may be impacted by what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for taking the time for the interview today, and well done on all your progress.
Yeah, thank you again, Hannah. Thanks very much.